Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Starcraft 2 replay cast. Today it's a 1 vs 1 on Dusk Towers between our red Terran player Bobby and up top our blue Protoss player State. And I have casted a game between these two players before, and it was on the same map as well, but this is definitely a different replay, and we'll speed this up to the 8x mark, to the 2-minute point of the game, and everything starts to get good. And early expansion there from the Protoss, and same for the Terran down on the bottom. And there we go. Speed it back. There we go. And SCV scouting around the Protoss base, checking out what's going on. One gateway out, and producing one adept. Going to be going out of the Protoss, or Terran base rather, and see if you can do any kind of harassment. But going to be hard to get inside there with it all closed up. Transferring down, speeding himself up a little bit, and the SCV now going to be moving around to the side, and I'm going to try and find any kind of proxy pylons if there's any kind of wackiness going on, but not going to find it this time around. 3 Marines set up here on the edge. I'm going to cache this adept in the process, but he's not going to be able to get into the base, so he's just going to cancel that and sees what's going on. And I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure somebody does. And so now with the robotics facility and a couple gateways coming up here for the Protoss SCV all the way in the back here. I wonder if he's up to no good or not, or if he's just chilling there and forgot about that SCV for a while. And so much chat, unbelievable. How about a little bit of Starcraft? How about a little bit of Starcraft playing with that chat, gentlemen? A blink being researched there, and a warp prism on the way. And SCV destroyed there. Tried to make its way inside, unable to do so. And picked up the probe accidentally. And possibly making another nexus down here. The Marines were all lined up in a very OCD-friendly pattern there, in a nice even line, but now broken up. The Marine now moving out here, and the warp prism coming in, and I'm not sure if he noticed that or not, but I think he thinks something is up. They came back to his base, and got to bring the Marines back inside. Siege tank now set up here does notice something is up, and was just waiting for that warp prism play. And Adept's now inside the main base here, harassing some of these SCVs, and here come the Marines to force that warp prism out of there. Raven on the field too, and no engineering bay just yet. Now 2 engineering bays coming up. Could have made a turret over there, but didn't have one up just yet. And Liberators now being created as well. So fairly interesting play, Raven and some Liberators. So we'll see how this works out for him. And Stalker's now on the way to the Terran base. And now producing Marauders to try and counter those. Meanwhile, up at the Protoss base, nothing too much going on, making some observers there. Stalker's now moving up. And Liberators moving out, trying to find that warp prism there. Not gonna dissuade that warp prism from coming on in that way. Warp prism now moving up around the other side. I'm gonna drop in here. And this is a pretty bold drop there. He needs to get out of there. New orbital command they're gonna be dropping at the expansion. And Liberator are going to be lost immediately there to those Stalkers, but a bunch of Stalkers going to be lost in its place, and I would say that was not worth it there. Was that 3 Stalkers to 1 Liberator? No, not worth it at all to kill that Liberator. So Bobby actually made out on that one. In terms of fuel, it was kind of worth it. No, not really. Even Stevens in fuel, not so much in minerals. Immortals now pumping out here from the Protoss. A ton of gateways now being created. And soon the Protoss will have tons of warp-in potential here. Even more gateways in the back. We'll have a total of 9 gateways here very soon. Also researching Psy Storm as well. Now a couple High Templars being warped in. And he probably doesn't even have the resource income for 9 whole gateways as he gets another expansion. And now moving out across the map with those 2 Immortals, a couple of sentries there, some Stalkers in the mix. And Warp Prism here now being chased down by a Liberator. And now Liberator's actually going to have to make it out of there. And Warp Prism destroyed there with some units inside of it as well. Well done on the part of Bobby to take that out. Bombsack goes down on those Protoss units, sees everything he's got. He knows how to defeat what he sees. Additional barracks going down, a missile turret there as well. And producing lots of Liberators. Another Protoss expansion going on there. A fairly interesting choice. This one's a little bit easier to get to. But of course, a little harder to defend because of that ridge there. I can put the siege tanks on. Stalkers moving out here, but the Zealots are on the wrong side of the battle there. So the Stalkers sort of blocked their own Zealots, and that was not a good engagement there for State. Now big on Zealots for State's army there, and Liberators here are going to see that there's a ton of Stalkers there and might not want to take that option. And all these Zealots going to push forward, and no, sort of wastes a charge there on some of them and forces that army back a little bit. And what are these Liberators and Medevacs going to do? Is he going to drop or not? By now, State definitely knows that that drop was coming, so he definitely can easily defend that. And here's the Stalkers, and are they going to warp up there? They do, and we'll be able to insta-shoot that insta-Gibbs the Medevac, if you will. And Observer chasing him down and loses a lot there. That was a big loss there for Bobby. Lost a Medevac with a bunch of troops and a couple of those Liberators as well. And now the Stalkers chasing him down even more. And a single High Templar there gets a ton of kills. So now I think State's on the upper side of the battle. And that one High Templar there, although he lost his life, killed a ton of Terrans in the process. And how to win toss? I suppose so. And now here comes the Protoss, the Zealots charging in. Protoss pushing in pretty deep now. Liberator's going to go in defensive mode shortly. No, going to take a bunch of damage. And loses too many of those Liberators and has to GG out. And a pretty good game. But you know what? I find that Liberators in high-level play just don't really cut it. Every game that I've casted with Liberators in it, they don't do a lot. And as you can see, the kills on these are just not really worth it. 1 kill, 2 kills. And so, because I think that high-level play, people easily know how to counter a Liberator and know not to stand under it for very long. And of course, know also to, with your Stalkers, to just simply focus fire on these Liberators and take them out. Whereas in lower level player, you might not know that, and of course you're going to get sort of chewed up by the Liberators because they do such insane damage in the defensive mode like that. But other than that, I don't find the Liberator to be all that useful in high level play. I haven't really seen too many replays where it really pays off, if you will. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I'll see you guys next time.